Hello everyone, I want to make a quick video to give my opinion about the Zola Sale. There's been a lot of talks about it, and I think it is setting a pretty bad precedent for future sales. So I have two reasons why I think it's bad, but before I go into it, I just want to make clear I'm not against like a company making money. They need to make money. If they don't make money, we don't have a game. So that's just how it is. So I'm not against sales as such, but I'm worried that this is a pretty bad construction or precedent, like I said, for future sales, because it is constructed in a very different way than the future champion sales. So for those that remember, we had a Jack sale a few years back, we had an Euphoria sale a few years back as well, and yeah, those were back then new champions that were freshly released, and you could buy them with a sale on the website. So it was a track sale, and that's very different from the current sale. So depending on how much you spent on the website, the track would go up, and if you had spent enough, then you would have the champion. So this means one, that if you would just buy units, for example, if you would be someone like myself that would buy units from time to time, that would be a good moment, good occasion to buy your units, maybe spend a bit more than you would normally do, and in exchange you would get a brand new champion. And this, in my opinion, creates a bit of a win-win situation. Like, you as a player would actually gain more from buying something that you would already be buying than you would normally do, and Kabam would get more money because, honestly, most people would spend more than they would normally spend when a sale like that was happening. But so both sides won. You got a brand new champion and other stuff. Let's go into that later. And Kabam would get your money maybe earlier than normal, or would get more money if you. So not only would you get a new champion, if you would buy, for example, 4 Odins. If I remember correctly, it was like $400 for the new champion. Because it was a track, you would get stuff before you would get to the new champion. Those could have been catalysts, it could have been crystals. I don't really remember what exactly it was, but it was stuff that was valuable. If that's value, it will help your account evolve in a positive way. Right now, the only thing that we get is the Zola and these like empowered crystals, I suppose. But yeah, they're not as good as the stuff that we used to get. So yeah, not only do we not have the track, not only do we not have the units, the stuff that we get is worse than what we would get before in the track. So that is reason one why I think this is a bad precedent. A second reason is more like in-game balance. So Ascension kind of replaces 8 stars. So as we saw with 7 stars, when a new star level would be introduced into the game, they would use that to kind of push champions that were maybe not the worst, but also not the greatest. So this would kind of rebalance the whole game a bit, because now suddenly you are playing with champions that in the earlier star level were kind of not at the top of the game anymore. And they did the same thing now with Ascension. Like, if you look at the Ascension crystal, and yeah, you have champions like Hitmonkey, for example, who we didn't really see much play before Ascension, and who is now, at least for me personally, quickly becoming one of my favorite champions. And the Ascension is a key part of that, because now he can hit down, and that is what makes him so strong. So there are other examples as well of champions that now, because of the Ascension, that are suddenly increasing value because they can now hit down and become real threats both on defense or on offense. Zola, however, is already, even without Ascension, one of the strongest defenders in the game. He doesn't need the Ascension to buff him, to give him more presence in the game. He has a lot of presence. So this is the first time since the introduction of Ascension that we see such a relevant meta champion being able to ascend, and for money at that. So I think that is also really bad precedent. Like, I don't want these strong champions to be ascended at this point. It would be fun for the future. It would be fun to see one of your favorite champions get ascended, of course, but yeah, for the health of the game, we don't need champions like Zola to be ascendable. I would almost say the opposite. I would prefer to play less against Zola because he's such a strong and kind of unfun champion to play against. So if you're going to start ranking up, or sorry, making Zola level champions ascendable, then yeah, who's going to be the next? Yelena maybe? Maybe later we'll see Serpent, maybe we'll see later other really strong like defenders. We don't need that in the game, in my opinion. It is fun to play against champions that you don't often play against. That makes the game feel fresh and feel more fun. So both of those reasons, one, that we used to have a track with more value than just these empowered crystals in them, and on top of that we could just buy units and continue advancing the track. And now this in-game balance is why I really do think this sale is a very, very bad precedent for the future and the health of the game. I am interested in hear what you guys have to say. Do you agree with me, or do you disagree with me, or do you just against the sale for other reasons? I hope to see and read in the comments. Bye bye, have fun playing the game.